Welcome to Bible Study with Fred. I hope that we can have a Bible study seated across the table from each other with our Bibles open. I'll share my interpretation with you, and you share your comments about whether you agree or disagree, and we'll talk. Tell me what you think. So we'll talk about that. We'll move forward in our understanding of the Bible that way. I'm in the second part of my passage, my comments on Mark 8:10 to 21, and I'm going to start in verse 12. I'll probably do this a couple of times as well. So this is part two. Verse 12. And he sighed deeply in his spirit and saith, Why doth this generation seek after a sign? Verily I say unto you, there shall be no sign given unto this generation. Sorry, I just had to go off on a tangent here. It's too interesting to pass by. So there's a lot of things I want to say. In another place, Jesus promises the Jews only the sign of the prophet Jonah, Matthew 12:38 to 41. Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered and saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. The men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation, and shall condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonas, and behold, are greater than Jonas is here. By this statement, we can understand that Jonah did die and was brought back to life in this passage. Jonah 2:1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his God out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. While thou hadst cast me into the deep, in the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about. All thy billows and thy waves passed over me. Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight, yet I will look again toward thy holy temple. The waters compassed me about, even to the soul. The depth closed me round about. The weeds were wrapped about my head. I went down to the bottoms of the mountains. The earth with her bars was about me forever. Yet hast thou brought up my life from corruption, O Lord my God. When my soul fainted within me, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came in unto thee, into thy holy temple. They that observe lying vanities forsake their own mercy. But I will sacrifice unto thee with a voice of thanksgiving. I will pay that I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord. As an interesting aside, notice how the great fish, a unique one-of-a-kind fish for those people running off to try to prove that this or that sea creature can or has swallowed a man whole, was prepared by God for Jonah and is a type of hell as you read the passage in Jonah again. The verse is also a type, the fish is also a type of something else, though, or someone else rather. Jonah 1:17. Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Jesus calls this great fish a whale. Modernists steeped in the modern taxonomic expressions will scream, a whale is not a fish, ha, mistake. But man's taxonomic classifications are just that, man's. Notice the creatures around God's throne in Revelation 4 are classified in categories, domestic, wild, flying, man-like primates. God mentions whales in Genesis 1:21 as the first creatures coming out of the water where he started life. Genesis 1:21. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind, and God saw that it was good. In Job 7:12, in Job's lament, it is implied that God would set a guard over a whale. If you select all the verses that contain watch, you see that it is an alert guard over something or at a certain time. Genesis 31:49. Exodus 14:24, and Judges 7:19, etc., etc. Job 7:12. Am I a sea or a whale that thou settest a watch over me? Pharaoh is likened to a whale in Ezekiel 32:2. Ezekiel 32:2 says, Son of man, take up a lamentation for Pharaoh king of Egypt, and say unto him, Thou art like a young lion of the nations, and thou art as a whale in the seas. And thou camest forth with thy rivers, and troublest the waters with thy feet, and foulest their rivers. I'm going to put forward that rather than being a specific reference to a specific taxonomic classification, a whale simply represents a large sea creature, what we would call a large fish, which is God's obvious classification by comparing verses between Matthew and Jonah, in that case, especially modified fish, or the Leviathan of Psalm 104:26, as in big, which then links these large creatures to the reptilian Lucifer or Satan, which are titles rather than personal names. Isaiah 27:1. In that day the Lord with his sore and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan the piercing serpent, even Leviathan that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. This verse links the serpent of Genesis 3 with the dragon of Revelation 12, which is the devil, Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Satan is likened to a dragon, which is the word we use for giant reptiles before the word dinosaur was invented. You can see the description in Job 41 as the word Leviathan in the first verse links the whale, Satan, the dragon, and the devil in one as typified by a giant reptile. Keeping in mind that the Philistine god Dagon is part man and part fish, imported from the Assyrian and Babylonian pantheon of gods, Judges 16:23, 1 Samuel 5:2, perhaps he's also referenced in Revelation 13:1, linking him to Satan as well. Now I'm going to stop there because I have more to say about this. And then I'm going to do a part 3 on this section here. So I'm hoping that you'll read your Bible, study your Bible, cross-reference the verses, and pray to God for wisdom and understanding, and then share your interpretation with someone else. Uh, Please let God speak to you through His Word. Okay? You can purchase my comments on Amazon. I hope you do. You can follow me for free on blogger.com. But if you've watched this video this far, please click like and subscribe or follow and share the video with someone else. And there's more to this. I have more to say about this, my tangent, and then I'll get back to specifically about the verse. But I really hope that you'll watch it and think about this and pray about it. Thank you.